That Santa Claus exists,
What?
but yet, this thing persists. Like I think the idea of Santa Claus is fine,
Sure.
but a lot of people believe in Santa.
You're ignoring the evidence, man. It's out there.
Presents appear, on Christmas morning.
Didn't Coca-Cola create Santa Claus?
The modern,
Modern.
sort of
Visual
of
The
Santa.
red
Yeah.
Santa. Commie Santa. No.
Yeah.
No,
Commie
red because
Santa.
of the Coca-Cola. Huh? Hello?
Hello. So
Are
we're a
we
little
live?
late because we just finished recording our latest episode of Alpha Quadrant 6, reviewing the television show Pluribus.
Pluribus!
It's a fun discussion.
What a
It's actually-
what a fun show, man.
Yeah.
We just kept going. I thought it would be like a quick 20 minutes, but
No,
it
no,
was
no.
closer
No,
to
there's
40.
a lot. There's a lot
Yeah,
to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about. All right.
Hello, chat. You should be seeing that. Greetings from the very wet Pacific Northwest. That's true. I think the snow is on our way. On our way? On its way. to us.
Its way to us.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Right.
happening
Are they
today?
predicting it? What?
I think today it's supposed to happen.
But we're getting a lot of rain today.
No, snow.
Today.
Today.
Oh, shit, man. All
When?
right.
Snow,
Who?
our first snow of
The
the season
first.
was the other day.
What time?
During the day.
You're
During
not.
the
You're
day
not a nice
today.
person.
During when you have to go to the doctor.
Yeah, I got a lot to do, and I'm in my bad car. I don't have my 4-wheel drive car.
Yeah, I was actually in Richmond, Virginia, and I don't know why I did the voice, but
Why are there no three-wheel
I had to
drive
do the
cars?
They're not safe.
Goes from 2 to 4. Why is there
Trikes
no
are not
three-wheel?
there
safe.
is a three.
There
Don't
is.
you remember the
I
Mr.
see-
Bean?
I see him on the road
three-wheeler
sometimes.
car that would always follow him. Anybody?
No.
Mr. Bean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I-
Mr.
We
Bean.
know Mr.
No,
Bean.
but do you remember the car that would always follow him and he would run it off the road and it would flip over? It was a three-wheel car.
I'm not talking about a three-wheeled car. I'm talking
Oh.
about a three-wheel drive, four-wheeled car.
Oh. How would that help?
What? What are you talking
Go from
about?
two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive. Then why is there no three-wheel
you
drive?
just
That's
you
what
okay?
I'm-
Around. Yeah, are you drunk? Check him for a virus. He might be a
I want a
hive
4-wheel
mind.
drive, 72 vehicle car.
All right.
Anyway, I have a
no,
question.
No,
for
topics
Ian.
first.
Ian, go.
Okay,
All right,
fine.
here we
No,
go.
Wait, go ahead. Ask the question first.
What are the topics today?
It's freaking, all right. So anyway, the topics today are LED versus incandescent, which I'm just picking some of these random
Yeah, that's fine.
things.
Ketosis.
Where's the audio coming from? I don't know. All right, I do it here. Ketosis, we'll do that one. I have a couple, or maybe just one Poe or no, because we did it last time. I have an email about Zombie.
Yep.
Bob, you know anything about that?
Zombie?
And then we'll do some TikToks. All right. I don't know if this is the
horror movie,
last
isn't it?
Wednesday stream or we're going to do one next week. Yeah, the 17th. We can still do one next
Yeah, I
week.
think we're gonna do
Well,
it. What?
I've got 2 episodes to do next week. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not.
All right. So
Next week, we're getting into our pre-holiday overproduction, so that what Christmas
Coming in all. I knew that was coming.
All right. So we'll see what goes on. Talk to chat for a little bit. I do have some optical illusions if you want.
What is
They're
the
always
illusion?
fun.
Yeah, let's see something new.
An illusion. And then I have some other stuff
It's
that
an
people
illusion.
just sent us in today even that I snuck out. All right. So here's a fun little optical illusion that eventually we will all see as soon as I show it. Oh, that didn't actually go. Let me see. Switch. This is one of those like two color.
Yeah, this is a good one.
illusions.
This is an old one.
Yeah, if you recall.
So the top color in the center of the top square button thing, and the color of the bottom one
are
if
the same.
Are
They're the same color. If you remove the middle line, they are exactly the same color.
All right. So let me see if I can.
It's like the chessboard in the shadow. They have the
Yeah.
same
Right.
same
Yeah.
thing.
So we were doing like a lot of the the dress thing from
Yeah.
last week or 2 weeks ago.
So
Let me see if I zoom
the
in.
idea here is that
Doesn't really help.
your brain is constantly trying to make sense of everything, all the senses, but visually your brain is trying to make sense, and lighting and shading and everything
Yeah.
has a dramatic effect on how we perceive things visually.
And the brain prioritizes continuity, right? So that the images make internal sense. So that the square on the top is black and the square on the bottom is white and in shadow. So it makes it look white to you, right?
This helps at all.
No, we got to get
No.
rid of the middle part.
Yeah,
Can
it's
you-
the middle part?
Can you?
I'll do like this. Okay. So
Can
there's
you-
that?
You got to reverse. You got to reverse what you're
and
doing.
then that. Okay. So let me.
Oh, look
let
at
me-
that.
Let me.
Can what I used to
send
do was I
post
would
to
cut
it.
a square off the top one and move that square down to the
could do
bottom,
that
and then it
too.
would blend in
There.
perfectly.
Yeah, so
look
they're
at
the
that.
same.
That's
Yeah.
the same.
Wow, man.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that you could use to learn the lesson that you cannot trust your perception of reality, because again, your brain is trying to make sense
It's
of things.
constructed. You are constructing what,
Right.
Yeah.
what you think you're seeing.
It's more important that you have a workable understanding of reality than knowing that top and bottom color are exactly the same.
All right. So that was a fun little.
That's fun, but that's an old one, though.
Yeah, I mean it's old, but it keeps.
Yeah, give us something new, Ian.
All
Come on.
right, I'll make a new one. It's just me searching Reddit for fun stuff.
I hear you.
All right.
Just don't show them the memes of me.
Okay, we don't know
got-
memes of.
What?
There was a lot going on Reddit. People were having fun.
I'm not looking at
on
those
Reddit, the
anymore.
STU Reddit.
Yeah, they're just having fun making memes of Steve.
Of course, why not? All right, let's look at this.
I gotta check that out.
one. No, don't look at it. Let's see. You might have heard this story before, but here is a little VR game, quote unquote.
No way.
If you
Nope.
do you recognize what this might
Yes,
be?
I think
Is
it's
the guy that got
I got
stuck?
stuck.
This is the guy that got stuck. Somebody made a VR.
So now you're crawling, or
You're
you
crawling. Yeah, you can do the hand movement.
and he went down there.
And he went down this way.
Could you imagine going down into a hole that small? Could you
Nope.
freaking what level of insanity has to be happening in order for you to think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Oh my god! It's just, I can't believe people do this for fun.
Yeah. Well,
And he
you know.
took a wrong turn, got
And that's
stuck,
it.
He
and
went.
that
yeah,
was
what was
it.
Let me. Yeah. That's. Let me see if I can find the image of the. What is
It
that
makes me
guy?
angry. It's like totally unnecessary.
Do you guys have any claustrophobia?
Oh, I do, of course.
Yeah, I
I've-
think so. Have you ever gone spelunking?
Me,
Yeah,
all?
I mean, in touristy
caves.
caves, caves where they're improved and you walk in,
I went into Torrey's Cave in Connecticut
Oh yeah.
with a friend of mine. I think I got into like the second chamber, and
You're like Dunzo.
You're like, nope.
yeah, I mean the thing
Here's
is,
the guy. That's the position he got stuck in.
Yeah,
That's a bad one.
it's a bad.
That's
and
not
the tunnel
good.
ended there too. Like it didn't even go anywhere.
I think they went down the wrong path,
Yeah.
thinking that there was like an opening.
Yeah, great
But-
fucking job.
Yeah, that was the.
Oh god damn.
That was a whoopsie.
That
I
is
did go
terrible.
into a spelunking thing where I was not this tight,
Ah!
but it was tight enough that I felt it on my chest and my back. But it was like very wide open, so you
How
could
do
like
you enjoy
scooch out of it. But it was like that's enough.
What's
Like,
enjoyable about that?
I don't. It's like the ego. Maybe that's what it
I don't
is.
know.
Like
I don't get it. Like
braving the
Look,
it's
we're all born with a whole bunch of decisions that have been made for us, particularly on what we like and what we don't like.
Sure.
You don't have control over that, and we're basically born with our preferences.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, there are people
I
who.
don't think that's universally
Stop
true.
it, Chad.
It's mostly true.
Why are you saying that?
Did you pick your favorite color?
You're ruling out cultural influences.
Okay, there's cultural influences too that we don't
All
have
right, yeah,
control
just
over.
saying you can't say it's all innate. Just because you didn't choose it doesn't mean it wasn't chosen for you by culture or society.
Yeah, but
too.
but again, as an adult sitting here,
Yeah.
we can ask each other a series of questions like.
yeah, so your preferences are not always conscious choices.
Like, it's not a coincidence that the three of us, our favorite type of food is Italian food. That was the
Yeah.
food we grew up with, right? So we
Yeah,
didn't get to
so
choose
that's
that.
genetic.
Yeah, totally. But I mean, if you think about any preference you have, you walk into a shoe store.
What's your
and
point? Where's this going?
You look at 1,000 shoes. The ones
this
that you
guy.
like, you didn't get to pick the ones that you feel like you like. Your brain automatically just tells you, "I like that." You don't.
Yeah.
There's no decision making.
Can we make fun
You know?
of Benny for a second? He said, "You mean I was born to want ketchup on my ribeye?"
Yes,
It's like,
that's not your
no,
fault, Benny.
That
It's
is your
all-
fault. Now you can change your ways.
Maybe.
You can change
Maybe.
how you think. My kid just put ketchup on her eggs like this weekend. I was
Oh,
like,
the canary in a
God,
blender?
No,
Breakfast?
please, Lord.
Yeah, Bob does that.
What?
You like
ketchup on your eggs?
Oh yeah.
Bob, no.
Yeah, man.
No, not me.
Sriracha's great too, but
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
of course.
different. That's hot sauce.
egg ketchup and like a hard roll. That's
different.
that's
It's different.
It's not
shit.
different. It is
It's
not
different
different.
red.
It just
it's-
hot
it's
sauce
very-
has a
it's very
cooler
different.
vibe than ketchup, but you're still putting something on to alter the flavor.
Well, yeah, you're putting butter on it too. That alters.
What
the
about fish
flavor.
sauce? Should I put fish sauce
Oof.
on
And
scrambled
eggs? Oh, you know what? Actually,
But that's
maybe
not
like
that's
a
not
rice.
fishy though. Isn't that more?
No.
I mean, fish sauce is kind of fishy.
Is
It is fishy.
Then no.
Yeah, but you don't just take fish sauce like it's cooked into something and there's a
Yeah, like Thai food.
It's like how much vanilla do you put in? That's about how much fish sauce you put in a dish.
It's for the umami.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
you use it.
it's like Worcestershire is like
Yeah, Worcestershire is-
sardines or what is it?
No, it's clams or oyster.
Is it
oyster?
oyster?
I think it's oyster
Oh,
sauce.
okay, yeah.
Someone said ketchup is gravy of the gods. I like you.
But oyster sauce,
crazy.
yeah, it's not. I think
Oyster
I've had
sauce
that.
good.
It's not fishy. If it had a distinct fishy aftertaste, I would not like
There's
it.
a
but-
little marine-esque-ness to it, right? I mean, there's so much sweetener in oyster sauce.
Yeah,
that
no,
maybe
it has a bite to it.
obscures it, but like there's something of the sea.
You ever see the videos of these people that open up that red can? I think it's from Sweden or the
Yes, the
Netherlands.
fish in it?
And
It's,
they just crack it and,
and they start
stick- and they
gagging.
start dry
I
heaving.
always forget that.
There's one guy. I mean, I'm sure lots of people do this, but there was one guy who he cracks it, and the guy sitting next to him just starts going, like the odor.
Surströmming, it's called.
Oh yeah, man.
You're not allowed to take it on mass transit, apparently.
That fish.
Apparently, in the can.
Oh, God.
In Sweden.
Yeah, it's rancid.
Not
It's
even in the
instantly
can.
rancid.
Not even in the can because they worry about it exploding. Like the bubble forms inside that it's expanding because of all the gases that
Yeah.
are released from the rotting fish. So anyway,
God damn.
how about
fish.
mayonnaise on fries? You know what's good? I don't know if you guys have had it. It's like there's a. Are there any Netherlandians or whatever you call yourself? The potato oolog or something like that. It's like mayonnaise and peanut sauce. Like peanut
Yeah,
satay
it
sauce
sounds
on
good.
French fries
I'm sure it's
with
good.
onions and stuff like that.
If you
I can
put
see that.
ketchup on fries, you cannot comment about other people liking mayo on fries. It's just another condiment.
Anchovies, which
Even though it
is
doesn't
like-
seem like mustard doesn't seem like it would go with French fries, but they're all condiments.
Yeah. Except it's poison, right?
They're flavor
no
changers,
judgment.
Poison.
The only thing I really put ketchup on is hamburgers. Ketchup is great on a
of
hamburger.
Yeah.
course, and fries.
I usually don't put it on fries.
That's
If
fine.
I, if I have to eat ketchup with my fries, the fries aren't good.
Oh, I got you.
Interesting.
You're covering
Yeah,
up.
it's-
Yeah.
What about malt vinegar? You ever do that?
Oh hell yeah, they're
Malt vinegar on
fantastic with
fries?
fries.
Anything with vinegar is good.
God. So good.
Fantastic on fries.
Ian, there's a window open above the
Oh, I'm
comments.
sorry. Let me kill that. Sorry. Apologies. There we go. All right. So I have an Australia. Since we're on our way, sort of, to Australia in a couple months, several months, more months than we should count.
8 months.
There's a little meme that somebody sent in to get in the spirit of Australia. Okay, hold on. It starts pretty aggressive, but it's fun.
Hey, cunts. So a bottle of water will cost
Can't hear
you
it.
50
Oh,
cents.
hold on. It starts pretty. Hold on.
Yeah, we got to hear it.
Starts
if you're
pretty
gonna play it, just
Australian,
play it. Just go
here
for
we
it.
go. Here we go.
Hey, cunts. So a bottle of water will cost you 50 cents at the supermarket, $2 at the gym, $3 at the fucking movies, or $6 on a fucking plane, cunts. It's the same fucking bottle of water, same fucking water, nothing's fucking changed. The only thing that's changed its value is its fucking location, cunts. So next time you're feeling you've got no fucking self-worth, maybe you need to change your location, cunts. No, cunts,
Okay.
love you.
That's it. It's an old Australian adage, apparently.
Nana cunts?
Well, all of the above. We can't say that. That's their word.
Oh, okay.
We can't.
Wait, whoa. It's
Whoa.
their word?
It's the Australians' word. They're allowed.
Oh,
We
my
put
God.
them
Here
on
we
that
go.
island.
It has a
There we go.
different connotation than it does in
It
the
does
U.S.
seem
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
less.
No, but I know
aggressive.
I've heard that usage so much and so often that like the word has detuned in my head as well. Like it's not the same thing. Like
with that accent.
I understand
You have
that
to say it
usage.
with the
With the
accent,
accent, it's
But in
like,
the
oh,
U.S., if you use that word,
That's-
it's a lot.
Oh,
More,
yeah, it's
it has a lot
dark.
more bite
It's
than
dark.
it does
Absolutely.
in Australia.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's our phonemes, I think, are too aggressive for that.
I guess it's okay for a man to call another man a C, right?
See.
Because it then it
C
kind of
word.
has
Oh, if
that
a man
more-
calls a
certainly.
woman,
Yeah,
the
that's
C
Yeah,
word,
yeah.
you're
Get
done
it.
with.
My
That's
wife would shank
totally-
me before I finished my next breath.
Yeah, and rightfully. All right, so there was a Poe or No that we got sent in.
Okay,
which
here
is
we
a
go.
Fun little segment. If people don't know what a Poe is, it's like. Actually, Steve, explain a Poe if you don't mind.
the Poe's law is that if it was originally designed to mean like if you're being satirical, like satire becomes indistinguishable from reality, based on the fact that some people's beliefs are so dumb or what they say is so stupid, it becomes indistinguishable from satire. So it's kind of morphed into this notion: is somebody deliberately pretending to believe something stupid, or do they really believe something stupid?
Yeah, that's like the TikTok version is: are they doing it for money or do they really believe, or both?
yeah.
All right, so let's look at this guy and see what y'all think about.
You should swallow one piece of gum every 7 years. So we all know we live in a big simulation. Everything around us is computer generated. That there's one thing that isn't part of the simulation. That's gum. Gum is weird. You can chew it. You could just chew forever. That's because gum comes from outside of the simulation. Gum is real. So you also know if you swallow gum, it stays in your system for 7 years. And every cell in your body changes every 7 years. And the 7 year itch, you change personalities every 7 years. That's because every 7 years they come from the outside and they take you away and put a whole new you in there, and they can change you any way they want. But if you swallow the gum, then they can't, because the gum locks you in place, because the gum is real. Gum is their weakness. Swallow one piece every 7 years. Any more than that, you might get a stomach ache, but one piece every...
I mean,
That's got to be a Poe.
Yeah,
seems like
it
it-
seems like a joke, but
Yeah.
somebody sent us in and they're like, "Is this satire or not?"
Wow,
You know,
man.
so
I mean, the
yeah.
guy- the
it's funny.
I'm
Gum is
judging
real.
the guy by his hair,
Yeah,
and it was like maybe
he's a vibe.
Yeah, but everything that he said was wrong.
Yeah. All right. The whole changing cells. Are we a ship of Theseus, Steve, or is that not really?
We
happening?
don't change all of our cells.
Yeah, yeah.
Some it depends on the tissue. Some
your bone-
some
your
your
bone
skin turns over very quickly. Your brain, you have those neurons for life.
But some components are shuffled that
Yeah.
are in neurons. Some part, like some components, but it's classically the brain. The
Not the
neurons
cells
that-
themselves. So you could replace the components of the cell,
That's what I mean. The components.
or you could replace the cell. Like that cell dies and it gets replaced by a
Right.
new cell. He's talking about the cells. You could also say, well, we're changing the atoms in the components of the cell. Like, you know what I mean? You could keep going
Yeah.
down to the level. Like it's not the same electron as it was. Well, is that even
Doesn't matter.
meaningful?
Yeah.
Your stomach acid rips through gum, just so
Yeah.
everybody
Pretty
understands.
aggressive. This is like a
Well-
Mitch Hedberg joke.
Well,
I
whatever.
was-
If it didn't get digested to nothing, you would poop it out. It doesn't
yeah.
stay.
Yeah.
It doesn't get
Yeah.
stuck in your system for
And
7
crazy.
years.
And remember about stomach acid.
Okay.
People think, oh, stomach acid. That acid is what dissolves the food, and that's incorrect. It's not. The stomach acid is only there to give the digestive enzymes the environment to work optimally. So it's not like the acid is dissolving the food. There's probably some of that, but it's the digestive enzymes that's doing all the heavy lifting, and
Yeah.
not the acid
So
that's
there-
dissolving.
But that acid though is really strong stuff.
Yeah, it's not weak stuff, but it's not doing the heavy lifting of breaking down.
They're complementary. Both things are happening.
Yeah, but like I said, the heavy lifting is the digestive enzymes.
Probably.
All right, so that was a little thing that people sent in. Okay, so let's get to this email that people sent in about our stream last week.
What?
Wait, did we do it last week?
We did, yeah, 12/3, right? December 3rd. Listening to the 12/3 live stream and enjoying the back and forth about Bob's trip to New Orleans and his voodoo adventures.
Oh, yeah.
The overall recounting and the anecdote about your skeptical friend that believed in voodoo reminded me of a crossover that I thought you all, Bob in particular, might find interesting. In college, I took a course on Haitian voodoo. Voodoo is like Vodou in Haitian Creole, pronounced voodoo, I guess, which has common roots and overlaps with Louisiana voodoo, both being traced back to African belief systems. Something I learned, which I don't believe most Americans realize, is that zombies are drawn from Haitian voodoo and Haitian folklore,
That's right.
with the English word being
Yeah.
derived from the Creole zonbi, like Z-O-N-B-I. The concept first entered the American cultural consciousness during the U.S. occupation of Haiti during the first decades of the 20th century, when stories of alleged Haitian zombies made their way to the States.
But the Haitian zombie, like a voodoo zombie, is not undead. They're a living person that is mentally a zombie.
Yeah, but they're on some type of drug, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or voodoo magic.
it took Night of the Living Dead that was the birth of the modern
The
undead zombie. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is that because he's actually saying in traditional folklore, zombies are the dead raised back to life by a voodoo priestess and serve as mindless slaves. Maybe there's a maybe there's both. But I don't know.
I don't
As far
think-
as you know, yeah, you're
For
right,
yeah,
you're saying?
My understanding is that, I mean, maybe both things are true depending on what sub-genre
right,
of
it's
voodoo
probably
you're talking
true,
about.
yeah.
It's more of just a mindless, slave, not undead, and we still use the word that way, right? You're
Yeah.
a zombie, we still use it in that more exact connotation, not to mean you're undead, just you're
Oh, yeah.
mentally zombified.
He goes on that says like there's voodoo practitioners had knowledge of some herbal drugs that they administered to unsuspecting victims that left them in a compliant state. So
Yes.
that's like
Right.
that's probably more. The
That's what I'm
concept.
talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, the concept of ravenous undead killing machines we know today obviously came from an American embellishment of the
Right.
original folklore.
Yep.
But that's a fun
And
that's a fun
I love it.
through line. So there's some good artistic good that comes out of interesting beliefs or from around the world, right? Like it's like we get some zombie stories.
Yeah.
All
Zombie.
right, zombie. Let's see. What else did we have on the topics list? Oh, ketosis. So we could do a little bit of that if you want to do
Yeah, go ahead.
that. And then I have other story. What is this? No. Stand by while I get that ready. Boop, boop, boop. What is that? Ketosis. There it is. Boom. Bam. All right.
There are documented, peer-reviewed instances where you can take a patient whose cognition is so compromised they can't tie their shoelaces or they can't draw out the face of an analog clock. Put them into ketosis, have them do those tests again. They can tie their shoes. They can draw the
That
face.
quickly.
It's still a
That
little
quickly.
within hours. There are documented, peer-reviewed instances where you can take a patient whose
I just restarted.
Yeah. So okay. First off, what studies from where? That's an important detail. Sounds like BS to me.
The details are very vague. So ketosis just means that you don't have enough glucose to keep your brain active. And so it's a backup mechanism because your brain needs a constant supply of glucose to function. And if it doesn't have enough glucose, your body starts turning proteins into ketones, which can serve the same energy function that glucose does. But ketones are acidic, so you get what we call ketoacidosis.
Yeah.
It's an emergency backup metabolic,
Pathway.
safety net, to keep your brain active. It's not good for you. It's sacrificing your health to keep your brain from dying.
It's eating
right?
your muscle, right?
Yeah, but it's also making you acidic. So we usually see it in diabetics, right? Because the problem with diabetics is that they either don't make insulin or they're resistant to insulin, and insulin helps the glucose get into cells. So what happens is the glucose level it's not going into cells, so it's not getting metabolized. So your serum glucose goes up, even when your cells are starved of glucose. Right, so you have that. It sounds
Yeah.
paradoxical. You have a very high blood glucose, but your cells are starved of glucose, and so they start to make ketones to serve as backup energy, and you get diabetic ketoacidosis. That's life-threatening. And then you need to give them insulin to bring down. You give them insulin and glucose. Again, it sounds paradoxical. You want to bring down the serum glucose level, but their glucose, when you give them insulin, it'll go into the cells. It'll rapidly decrease their glucose. So you have to actually give them glucose at the same time.
Now, don't a lot of people think that they want to be in ketosis?
So then there's the whole ketosis diet thing where it's like, well, you've starved yourself of glucose to the point where your body shifts into ketosis, and that's supposed to have some magical beneficial effect.
But it's not a fat burner.
It's the alleged benefits are completely unproven. Maybe like there are some disease states like epilepsy where they're experimenting with ketosis as a mechanism of altering the body's blood chemistry to reduce the risk of seizure. And people do that. I still think it's a little experimental, but that is in common use in certain severe epilepsy cases. But just for like a healthy person, I'm going to get healthier by pushing myself into ketosis, and this will make me lose weight or my brain will function better. That's all nonsense.
Yep.
That is not true. There's no evidence to support that. Whatever this guy's talking about, ketosis is doing, helping the brain function better, that's just ridiculous. It's nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and this is posted by Jordan B. Peterson, who notoriously posts a lot of wacky stuff,
And
posted on the Daily Wire.
The premise here is that he said people's cognition is impaired, and the ketosis can help them undo that. But he doesn't say
What are
how
the
is the
details?
cognition impaired. Isn't there like about 1 million ways to impair your cognition? I mean, what specifically is he talking about?
Exactly.
There is also the claim I've heard that in ketoacidosis that your breath smells like nail polish remover. Or
Your
something
breath
like that.
does smell. I don't know
smells
about
Acetone?
Yeah,
or
acetone,
something.
exactly.
Yeah, or something.
Wow.
So that's an interesting little wrinkle.
It's real acetone?
Yeah.
I mean, that could damage, like recording equipment and cameras. It can.
Don't have a
go into
diabetic
ketosis down here.
ketoacidosis.
Don't breathe on your digital camera when you're in ketosis.
Yeah. All right. So there's that little weird thing. Let me see. What else do we got? Oh, so this one somebody sent in just recently. It's about rabies and a donor. So somebody got scratched in Michigan. A man died of rabies after receiving a kidney from another man who died of the disease when he was scratched by a skunk while defending a kitten. Which is that's a new sentence unlocked. But
They do not screen for rabies with organ transplantation.
transplants, which is interesting.
So this is a very rare case of somebody
Certainly.
who died with the virus undiagnosed,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and it got transmitted through the
That's
the
a
kidney,
nasty death.
and the
man.
recipient died of
Yeah,
rabies.
in the same way, right? Because it's if untreated, rabies is fatal.
Yeah.
Right? It's not. So you have to get treated immediately, I believe, right?
Oh yeah.
And then you end up not being able to swallow, experiencing hallucinations, stiff neck.
It's a
confused.
nasty way.
You don't
to
want to
die,
die.
man.
So that
Pretty
skunk
terrible.
killed 2 people.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, it's the virus, obviously, but like, sure, if we want to blame the skunk, but yeah, I guess if you get scratched by any animal, you should probably,
You get it checked out.
especially a wild animal, I guess, presumably.
And the other
But,
thing is,
like,
don't mess with wild animals.
well, that's the other thing.
Yeah, it really is.
Especially if the wild animal is acting sick or is acting weird or is aggressive.
To be
or-
fair, like they seemed like the skunk came up to him while he was holding a kitten, so he
That alone
he tried to
is
stop
bizarre.
it.
You run away.
Yeah, you got to run away.
Run
but
away.
I mean, it might have been close enough that he tried to kick it and it scratched his.
That's unusual behavior for a skunk.
right.
Yeah.
That's very unusual. Right. So, but at that point, yeah,
Normally
if
skittish.
that happens, you better take that skunk and then get vaccinated, right? Isn't it a vaccine that you get
can get-
administered after you get a scratch infection?
Well, you can get
or something like that?
vaccinated, but you usually got to be vaccinated before exposure.
Is it? Okay.
But I mean, again, if you get it right away, it could help. But they also can just give you acute treatments.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
there is a point where you're done.
Yeah.
You have it.
Yeah, I
too-
mean, it takes a while. Doesn't it travel up the nerves to the brain? And once it gets to the brain, you are done. There's like no. I think there's only been one survivor, ever. Some one person actually survived
Yeah, I don't know the
it, but
details, but yeah, there's definitely a point of no return.
Yeah.
yeesh.
And yeah, and the person who received the kidney had the same,
Yeah.
death.
It's a very
It's
unusual,
terrible.
rare case.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Ian, what about the LED incandescent?
Okay, now we're getting to the real hard-hitting science stuff. All right, let's go to the LED incandescent. All right, so what do you guys, first to start off, what do you prefer lighting-wise?
LEDs,
Do you like LEDs? Of
course.
For Christmas, let's say.
also LEDs.
Yeah.
Also LEDs, just stylistically LEDs.
Yeah.
You know,
Anything that
Just like no heat, right?
They're
Smaller,
they're smaller,
more
they're
efficient.
much less
is the
electricity.
color comparable enough to you?
The colors are
A good
Yeah.
LED can match an incandescent precisely.
Pretty close.
the LED technology now is very, very good.
Mm-hmm,
They have all the colors.
Are there any use cases for incandescent bulbs that you would ever
Just
find?
Aesthetics, just the pure aesthetics of like an Einstein bulb type of thing.
One of those Betty Crocker cooking ovens.
Okay, yeah, easy.
Oh, yeah.
oven.
Easy bake oven.
I mean, look, I've had. I know. I don't know if this is where it's going.
I
but
got
like,
another one.
There are people who think that the LEDs are strobing, and that can have a psychological effect. And there's some pseudoscience.
Well, they are
here.
technically flashing faster than we can see, right? Isn't that the whole mechanism? So, like, if you have a camera at a certain frame rate, you can see the flashing. Or
I thought so.
Is that from like the mains? Like, if you're 50 hertz versus 60 hertz, you can see the flashing. And
I honestly don't know if LEDs are strobing or not, but
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's a good question. Chat,
But-
you know better. You ask.
But
You answer.
There's one other critical
Go ahead.
critical scenario where you need the big bulbs, and that's if you're doing like an old school carnival or specifically a clown decoration. You need the big multicolored bulbs. LEDs will not suffice if you want to get that vibe of
So it's aesthetic.
yeah, aesthetic.
So there's a little aesthetics into it. Okay, well, let's see what this guy has to say if it's aesthetic based.
So I think that most of you know that I'm
Can't
an
hear.
electrical
Is it
contractor.
not quite loud enough? Hold
Nope.
on. There we
Yeah,
go.
but we could read.
And if you don't, then
Still not
I
loud
guess now you do. But I did something today that I never would have dreamed that I would do. I actually just got done pulling out all the LED light bulbs out of our downstairs, and I put in some incandescents. I've been looking a lot at this stuff, and I wonder how much it has to do with our attitude, our inability to go to sleep, just everything. And this all started
Just
after I had a conversation with, basically he's a mentor of mine, somebody I look up to and respect, and we were talking about Christmas lights, and I told him how I hated LED Christmas lights, and he said, "Why?" I don't know, I just feel like that doesn't give you the warm, fuzzy feeling that the old incandescent lights did. And I've always still used incandescent Christmas lights instead of LEDs. They're starting to get really wore out, and I do genuinely feel like they just feel different. Like they don't hurt your eye to look at. I don't know how much longer I can limp them together or fix them. So I just thought, I keep reading stuff and hearing all these stories about how horrible the wavelengths are for you
This
on
is like the main-
LEDs. And everybody's worried about, the cost. And I'm like, my electric bill never went down when I switched everything to LEDs. So I got online and started trying to find some bulk incandescents. And it's not very easy unless you want to spend some money. But I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens. I don't know. I just want that old 80s, 90s nostalgic warm feeling whenever we walk into our house. So we'll give it a shot. Anyways, have a good day.
I mean, look, there seems to be a visual difference. Like when you look at the old Christmas lights, like I remember what those old lights looked like. That could be something to do with the glass that they were using. But the bottom line is, I mean, if it's at a certain color temperature, right? Like our lights in the studio are at 5,000, right? They're all the same exact color.
5,000 what?
Okay.
Kelvin.
Yeah. So, you can perfectly match a color from an incandescent bulb. Like I use Philips, sometimes I use Philips Hue light bulbs because they're very programmable. Like I have them in my kitchen because I can change the color temperature. You could dial in any freaking color temperature you want within a spectrum, and it's a wide spectrum. And then you can control the brightness as well. So
Yeah.
like you can match it.
Absolutely. So it's a couple of things he said in there. One is he's trying to blame it on poor sleep or poor psychological health or whatever. That's nonsense. There's no evidence for that. There is evidence that if you have your lights on too bright late at night, right up to the point where you're going to sleep, that could, for some people, that could delay your sleep onset.
Any light would do that, though.
Yeah, that's not specific to LED versus incandescent. That's just light. That's just the brightness of the light itself. He threw out the anecdote. My electricity bills didn't go down. LED lights use a lot less electricity than incandescent.
Bottom
It's like
line.
2-3%, 5%, something like that. That's just absolutely true. So just hit that anecdote of his is worthless.
Last one more.
So the only thing you're really left with is the aesthetics, which is
Well, he also said
subjective.
harmful wavelengths.
Oh, harmful wavelengths.
Yes.
So that's I don't even know what
That's-
he's talking about.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
There's no harmful wavelengths.
I mean, if an incandescent is putting out at a particular temperature.
Yeah, blue light's blue light.
Yeah, and then you have an LED that's matched that temperature. I mean, they're essentially the same exact
Same
thing.
EM
Yeah.
wavelength.
Somebody said we need to watch Technology Connections episodes on this topic. There's dramatically more to it than there are. I'm sure there's a lot more to this than the three of us are currently aware of. But I think the things that we said are true, though. I mean, I'm not. This isn't a new topic for me, and I definitely have read about this. But if we are missing something blatant, you should let us know.
Did you guys notice, like, switching LEDs, like the price of your electricity drop significantly, like in the house, or significant enough?
The thing is,
notice
it's
it.
hard to tell because there's so many other things changing at the same time,
sure.
and it's not like we didn't change every bulb in a
Yeah.
day. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it sort of got phased in over probably
As they died, right? As they died.
yeah, like 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at the same time, lots of other things were changing in terms of our electricity use. So
LEDs are safer and they do burn a lot less electricity.
yeah,
I will say, when I did that in the studio, my father's studio, like I saw that it dropped by like a third of the price because
Yeah.
we had
There you go.
so many lights in the studio
that's
just to light it
more
up.
dramatic.
And it's not like the house, like where you like things are changing a lot. It's like very specific,
Yeah.
like, regulated.
More controlled environment.
Yeah, so I could see it. And I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
But I think it's again aesthetically. It all. I mean, I've seen LEDs that I think don't look good, and I've seen them that
Sure.
look fantastic.
Yeah.
I do see what he's saying about those old, large incandescent bulbs, but that's just pure childhood nostalgia.
Exactly.
You know, I think
Yep.
it just reminds me of
And that's
Christmas
fine.
when we were kids.
But don't invoke this other crap.
Yeah,
It's
the other
like-
crap. Yeah, but people like pure and simple moral stories, right? So if he's like, "Oh, I just like the way incandescent bulbs look, and the LEDs are bad for you, and they have wavelengths, and they didn't lower my electricity bill," like it's all got to be in the same direction, rather than just saying, "Yeah, the LEDs are better. They it's the same light, blah blah blah. I just like the way these particular Christmas bulbs
Yeah.
look.
Sure, yeah.
It gives me the warm and fuzzies about my childhood, whatever."
It's fine.
But people don't like that nuance or mixed message. You know?
if you have a hard to reach light bulb, put a freaking LED in there, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, changing the thing I did notice. So, like in my house, I was in charge. I am in charge of changing the light bulbs. Whatever. That's just the workload division in my house.
But Jocelyn's taller than you. That makes no sense.
yeah, you got to get out of a chair anyway or whatever. So, yeah, when you have a house full of incandescent bulbs, you are constantly changing bulbs.
Constantly. I don't
I
remember
have,
changing a
and
bulb.
now I've changed a couple of bulbs in the last few months. Like the first LED bulbs I've
Yeah.
had to actually change because it went out, and otherwise I probably went 10 years without changing a bulb. It is dramatic how much longer they last.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Here's a tangent. I had a discussion with somebody about doing like for this nostalgia baiting kind of thing. If we sectioned off a portion of the town and made a like 80s 90s revivalist section of the town
Yeah.
where we had like Hollywood movie or what a blockbuster movie, Pizza Hut, whatever those things from the 80s, like really style it up to make a unique section of town for the people who want to, like bring their kids. Like, this is how we used to live. What section or what timeline? What would you have in your section of the town if you were?
What era? Like
What era? Yeah, and what stores would you have in there, or what speaks to you as like, oh my God, this is how I used to live, and I would want to show my kids.
I mean, this late 70s to mid 80s.
Yeah, early 80s. I
So
was
what stores would that be?
Radio Shack.
Radio
Shack.
Shack.
Radio
That's a good
Shack.
one.
Remember the commercials for Radio Shack?
Yeah.
Blockbuster's more like 90s, right?
Yeah, that's like my era,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Growing up.
early aughts.
I mean, so what stores would I want access to again? Or do I
Yeah,
want my
like
kids?
what do you remember going to stores with your parents all the time, maybe, or like?
Yeah, there was we had a Caldor.
Uh-huh.
Caldor.
Like it was like a
Caldor.
department store that just would be fun to see.
Smoking section. Somebody said that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I remember if you went to the top floor of Caldor's, right? They had a restaurant up there, and they had hot dogs that were cooking on these spinning metal rollers, right? So imagine all these
7-Eleven
rollers
style.
spinning, and they just roll the hot dog perfectly. So
Yes.
and it was like perfectly cooked. I remember as a little kid going, "That's really smart," and I used to like getting the hot dogs there. That'd be fun. It's all food with me. I mean,
it's
really
food.
just
I wouldn't mind. I would like to go to a Halloween store from like
get
30,
those masks.
30, 40, 50 years ago, 70s, or even maybe even in the 50s, because now. Remember when we were growing up, Halloween costumes were
terrible.
stupid.
Hated them. We never used them.
A bad plastic half mask, then the costume for the character, and of course the costume had the face of the character on your chest
And
which
the
is,
name.
which is
Like a
ridiculous.
T-shirt,
Yeah.
Frankenstein with the faces of Frankenstein.
That's his
and then-
costume. They were just horrible. We
were horrible.
didn't even
We
really
never
use
used them.
those.
Barely.
But some of the retro Halloween stuff from like maybe the 50s or 60s,
Like the invisible pedestrian.
some of the retro stuff, the decorations
Johnny Human
were,
Torch?
were really cool, and they're so nostalgic and beautiful. I love some of that stuff. So I'd like to see some of that, but not the damn costume. Jesus.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a famous like 50s costume where it was like a plastic bag that you put over your head or something like that?
No,
It
that
like
was a fake SNL.
Oh, it's
That's
fake.
it.
SNL.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Johnny
Yeah.
Commando
Hilarious.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the best.
Yeah.
That was such a
Dan
good thing.
Aykroyd. It's
Yeah.
like
It says they're right on the package, not from blind kids.
Ian, to get legit, like
They got
that's,
me.
as I think about it, like I would like to have pizza from Sal's Pizza that we grew up
Yeah.
with.
Uh-huh.
Right. So there is a lot of
Oh.
that food nostalgia.
Totally.
going with Uncle
I
Bob.
want to go to the freaking
that Sal's?
bread
Was it
maker,
Sal's?
the bread maker and the Italian deli that
Yes.
were across from each other.
By the
because,
cinema,
My
by the
God,
cinema,
that
right?
Italian bread was
Wow.
so freaking good.
Damn.
So if you were in the pluribus environment, would you do this? Force these, humans, quote unquote, to make a new nostalgia
Yes.
land?
Of course,
And
why not?
recreate all those, childhood memory things.
I would get as many of them as busy as possible doing things that aren't what they're doing.
Whatever it is they're
Whatever it
doing.
is they're doing.
Yeah.
Or is
Stop
this-
whatever you're doing
Yeah,
and
yeah,
do
yeah.
this completely worthless thing that will entertain me briefly.
Or is this slavery that you're, enforcing?
No, but
these
they
people?
want
If you want to
They
learn more,
want
watch
to.
our
It's gonna-
episode
it's
on
gonna
That's
make-
right.
It's
That's
gonna,
okay.
yeah, it's going to make us happy. I would have them build a house for me. That would be my ultimate house.
That's true. All right. Well, that's just a primer for the episode that will come out
You know,
probably
It's
first.
got the Halloween wing, got the sci-fi wing. You got the dungeon underneath. I mean,
A hobbit hole.
it'd be an awesome house.
The music store, the old school music store, like Sam Goody or something.
Yeah.
like that was
Sam
like,
Goody.
that was fun. All right, let's move on. What else topics do we have? We did most of these, but I have some other.
What was the zombie? You did
That
the
was a
zombie,
zombie,
Zombie
right?
was the Haitian,
Okay.
thing. Let's see. We're gonna do the Copper Terrence Howard and the other thing for that. What about mucus and inflammation? You want to talk about that, or is
I didn't
oh
look
no?
at that one.
Wait, let's do recreating the sun. That was the one.
Okay, yeah, Recreating the
main
Sun.
Thing that I. All right,
A
so
group of
a group of scientists. They're always doing their science.
Look at this guy.
All right, yeah, look at
This
this guy.
fucking guy.
Another guy. All right, here we go.
scientists recreated a star by taking a vat of water, putting an air bubble in the center of it, and then passing a sound wave through it. This caused the air bubble to collapse upon itself, creating heat and light. Did you notice how they recreated a star in a vat of water, not in an empty vacuum? So all of the ancient cultures around the world understood that what was above us was some sort of liquid substance. Some people have even called it the ether, which is the fifth element that was taken out of the four elements that we have now. There's five:
We have
earth,
more
water,
than four
air,
elements, dude.
fire, and ether.
No, Mila Jovovich is the fifth element.
Ah, nice, nice.
All right, so that's the
Oh,
ether.
my
He just I don't know if
God.
he gets into much else, but it's like ether.
Let's get back to
baiting.
the ether. So ridiculous, man. That's absolutely been so debunked.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, everything this guy says is wrong. I mean, the we talked about on the show using cavitation as a
Yep.
way to create fusion, and I don't know if they did that in that setup that he's talking about, but that's not about creating a sun, right? They're not creating a star or a sun in a vat of water. They're just creating, if it works, just a tiny bit of fusion, just momentary fusion, using essentially the cavitation as a way of collapsing. Basically, it's using confinement, right? Inertial confinement
Right.
in the collapse of the cavitation of the bubble, and to create like a little putt, little mini non-sustainable fusion, but you just keep doing it and you could generate. That's the idea. Then there's been some preliminary work, proof of concept type stuff doing it. Calling that a sun, though, is wrong. Suns have sustainable fusion due to gravitational confinement.
Right.
That's not what's happening. Unless you're equating any fusion to a sun, which is not, I think, a good analogy. And then he leaps from that, and therefore,
Fluid. We know
suns
there's a
exist
fluid
in a
out there.
fluid. That is a massive leap. That is not based upon anything.
It's the ball of hydrogen. I mean,
Yeah.
it's nothing. Doesn't need to be anything beyond that. That's all you need. Is
It's not cavitation. It's not a bubble. It's a gravitational confined ball of hydrogen. Yeah.
And I always get this same emotional journey when I hear someone start to weave in
Yeah.
insane perspective, and whether it's true or not. There's a series of things that I feel, and a big one is like I get
feel.
angry for a very brief amount of time. I get like I want to physically shut the person up. But the bottom line is this: we are in a sea of misinformation.
Yeah.
It's getting worse, and it is so hypercritical for us to not only maintain our skeptical chops, but we need to get other people I know that this is so obvious, but I feel like it's worth saying. The media, the current state of affairs in the world, social media and everything, misinformation is coming at us from every any way it can get in, it's coming at us. And I think it's very important, if you have children or whatever, make sure that you help people learn about critical thinking, because it's going to be one of the few things that I think could give us a better future from where we are right now. Like, how bad is it going to get? Now, here's what I'm really afraid of. There's a lot of people.
Sharks.
Yeah, well, sharks, yeah. But sharks is easy because you just get out of the water. You don't have to.
It's hazardous, but that's
Tornadoes?
It's easy to
but
avoid.
not risky.
As artificial
Right.
intelligence ramps up and starts to seep into all these different areas of our lives, there are people who use artificial intelligence for quote unquote good. Like, they're using it as a tool. They're doing it to help speed things up.
Research, diagnosis,
and everything. Again, we're not discussing the whole
Pattern recognition.
environmental impact. It's just, this is what's happening right now, right? People are using ChatGPT and other large language models to tell them what to do with their lives, to literally have it counsel them, to tell them what to do.
Yeah.
They're not making decisions anymore. The biggest questions I ask ChatGPT to do to help me make decisions are going to be like product. Like, I'm going to buy one of these. I need to know. Tell me all the top brands. Tell me all the things that I should be looking at to
It's just
judge
basically
this.
a sophisticated search engine at that point.
Yeah. But it's a unbelievably powerful tool that people are going to be using to lose their ability to their cognition. They're gonna lose the higher functioning levels of cognition through atrophy because of artificial intelligence. This is a big problem. And it scares the hell out of me because it's going to be pervasive. Like, my number one ask.
The Oracle problem. People
Yeah.
use the ChatGPT like an Oracle.
Exactly.
And they just don't think.
I call it the Oracle. I joke around with Ian all the time, and I got to ask the Oracle. But I want ChatGPT to or some AI company to give me an assistant that I could say, help me find this email.
Yeah.
I want to write this email. Add this to my calendar. Email this person for me and tell them I'll
Yeah.
see the like. I want to be able to, like, while I'm in the car or in my office, like, thinking
Totally.
about
I mean,
stuff.
an off-the-hook digital assistant could pour through my computer, find me every picture I have of Bob and Jay together.
But
or
I will
whatever.
tell you,
Yeah.
this is
And
like,
there are apps that can do that, but I mean, just having one assistant that could just do it.
Yes,
open-ended,
it's coming,
do all
it's
this
coming.
stuff.
But
But
the-
filter out my email, just delete any spam.
but
Right,
ChatGPT
scour the web
as
and
a-
find these things for me, like things that I do not have the time to
Yeah.
find.
well, ChatGPT could do a lot of that too. But the point is, though,
agents. Go ahead.
is that people are increasingly using ChatGPT to do things that I believe it shouldn't be doing for people. You know, and you guys know if you use it, it's constantly giving you, here's what you asked for. Hey, would you like me to do this, this, and this too? Just type in A and I'll do that.
Yeah.
Like it's trying to be helpful, but
I generally just ignore those.
it scares me though.
It's not
I
helpful.
mean, it's useful for code, like from writing code. You know, it kind of can predict some things you might need or whatever.
Yeah, sometimes it has a good follow up, but
in a weird way, it kind of reminds me of Pluribus, right? Did I pronounce that correctly?
Pluribus, yeah.
Pluribus.
You know, it's like the over accommodation can be debilitating,
Infantilizing.
Yeah, and you know, you look at the movie, which
WALL-E.
WALL-E, when you have all of these adults that can't even walk anymore. Like I
Yeah.
thought it was absurd when you saw the movie. Oh my God, could you imagine? Like, yeah,
We
I
can imagine.
Yeah.
Yes, can absolutely
Absolutely.
imagine that.
We
yeah.
have to use our brains. We have to think. We have to challenge ourselves. It's not only a good thing to not use somebody else's software to tell you what to do with your life, but we know that cognitively you will do better if you use your brain like a
Yeah.
muscle. Exercise it. Challenge yourself. Especially in older ages, like you need to do it. My daughter asked me. She's 10 years old and she doesn't like school. I'm like, Olivia, so many kids out
Did
there.
you slap her?
Only twice, but it's so big. No, but the point
He's
is,
kidding. He's kidding. YouTube
I am
censors
kidding.
the-
I don't slap my kids. She doesn't want to go to school. She keeps asking me, "Why do I have to go, Dad? Why all the
Really?
kids have to go?" I'm like, "There's so many answers to this question." But
man.
I told her the one that you really should be thinking about is that you are training your brain to be way more effective when in your older years, when you get into your late teens and 20s and you truly start your adult life. Your brain is going to be way more effective than if you didn't go to school, because you're actually expanding the capabilities of your brain by all of this brain training that you're doing. And I tell her, like, people that don't get a good education and don't socialize with other kids in schools, like, the school setting is actually very good. It works really well in a way. There's lots of things.
Socializing,
You have to have
critical
What
for
grade
growth.
is she in?
She's in 5th grade.
Yeah, so imagine trying to survive as an adult with a 5th grade education,
Yeah.
basically. And again, the data is there. Like how much money you make over the course of your life absolutely is affected by how far you go in school.
Definitely. But it also does increase, it's like expanding your mind. It really
Yes.
is making your mind more effective at all the things that your mind can do.
Yeah. And the more you learn, the easier it is to learn more stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's hard
You're
to
learning how to learn.
it's hard to
Exactly.
teach kids this. It's hard to tell them, like, you really do need to go. Like my son, who's going to be 13 very soon, like his whole thing is, Dad, like the teacher says it, like a math problem, teaches it, and I got it. But then he teaches it to the class like 6 or 7 more times, So I had to have that conversation with him, like, explaining to him, like,
Sucks being smart.
you're smart, you're picking up things really quick. Other people need the repetition and everything, and I said, that doesn't disqualify school. You still need to learn, you still need to progress. And he's starting to notice that things are building on themselves. Like math is so easy to see this.
Yeah, man.
You're going from this to this, finally getting into the more and more advanced maths.
Yeah.
And he said to me at one point, he's like, "Yeah, I could see why I needed to learn all those other things to understand
The new stuff.
The new stuff, yeah.
Totally.
Anyway, the takeaway here is, don't let the people around you, don't let them use it that way. Talk to them, let them know that it's doing them damage. It's doing them psychological.
Well, the
damage.
big thing is students like doing their homework, not using it the right way, like having to do their homework for them, not using it as a tool to help them do it more efficiently or better. Like you're just robbing yourself of an education.
Yeah.
You're just
Absolutely.
shortchanging yourself.
Like school isn't something that you're supposed to sidestep and trick and
I know, but I think
cheat your way through,
People, because we're kids, we're forced to go to school, right? We never made a choice to go to school.
That's right.
And it is, we get it. I've all been there as kids. And, I've always enjoyed certain aspects of school, but it's a chore. It's something you got to get through.
Yep.
You got to do a lot of work. It kind of dominates your childhood life. And at some point, what's interesting is like the farther you get into education, definitely a lot in college, but especially when you get to like medical school, it's completely different.
What do you mean?
In other words, like you're there 100% because you want to be there and because you value what is being taught, right? It's not
Yeah.
something you're getting through. It's like this is my life. This is my career. I need to know this stuff. You are 100% motivated to learn it. And it keeps getting even more so, like the farther you get in your education. Because I've taught students in their first year, their second year, their third year, their fourth year, interns, residents, fellows, fellow attendings. The farther along you are on that path, the more you value the information that you're learning because you live it, you see it. And so it's a complete flip. The trick is to getting people that's earlier on in that process to appreciate that this is, you want to learn this stuff. This is stuff that you will use in your life.
Most kids will never. They can't.
Even
get,
if
they
it's
can't get there.
Yeah, even if it's just learning how to learn or learning how to think or just broadening your conceptual horizons. It's a little abstract. It's hard to get them there. But the more you can get them to appreciate that. Imagine if you want to learn stuff. And I even think like myself, because now, like I could take a topic and research it and write a blog post about it or talk about it on the show pretty damn efficiently. Could imagine what if I had those skills I have now
Oh, wow. I
back
know.
in school. I had nothing approaching the skills that I have now when I was actually going to school.
Yeah, but it took a lifetime to get there.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, that's why. But that's part of the benefit of it.
This reminds me of a short story.
Everything does.
Short science fiction story where there was a special school for kids. And these kids, I think they were genetically engineered to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So the genetic engineering involved the fact that when you're in class and you have a learning epiphany,
Yep.
when you have the, oh, I get it, that makes sense. When you reach that point, you have an orgasm. So that's what happened. So there was a lot of motivation to learn.
Can they do this?
Not yet, Jay. But I just that story obviously stuck with me. So
Well, it
it's
wouldn't have
kind
to
of
be a physical orgasm. It could be, but there, you can get a huge hit to your pleasure center.
yeah, dopamine.
You
yeah,
feel like,
sure.
oh, that feels
same
so
same
good.
idea. But these were orgasms.
It
in
does
the story.
feel
but
good
yeah,
when you do that. That is a
yeah.
ple-
But
a
imagine
pleasant
where it's just
feeling.
like, whoa. Imagine like.
So there'd be people like in the middle of the night, like reading books and stuff to try to.
Hey, man, this world would be a different place if that were real.
All right, are we moving on to Steve's TikToks?
We
now?
can do that, or there may be one more.
Anyone in the chat have a
video.
question for us?
Oh yeah, you could also do questions. The other one was the Parkinson's.
Teen boys
thing,
would
if you
be
wanna
so
do that.
smart.
What's the Parkinson's one?
It was like the guy that Bob likes. Here, let's look at this guy just real quick.
This
We'll
guy.
watch it. This fucking guy.
Oh yeah, this guy.
There we go.
I hate this guy.
He loves Bob.
He's
loves
fun.
it.
He's funny, man.
He's
Is he
got a
making?
funny
Is he
shtick.
making fun of people here?
No, he's.
His delivery is just his shtick, and it's just
Yeah.
it grew on me. It's
I
like,
That's
think
it.
It's talking about pesticides or something.
What's that? Oh, tons of people are reporting getting Parkinson's disease from something called paraquat that is put on vegetables, crops, things of that nature. Tell me more! Yeah, after some research and some studying up, people are finding out that paraquat is what is causing a rampant amount of Parkinson's disease. They were recently sued, the people that make paraquat, for about $187 million. The problem is this gets approved to be put on the crops, and now with this newfound information and the suing that happened from all, they've decided to move this paraquat from things like golf courses if you didn't know it was put on there, but it's now been removed. But did they take it off of crops and other things? No. What they did is they changed the name to Diaquat. Okay. Let's just change the name, why don't we? Be sure to wash off all of your fruits and veggies and things of that nature before consuming them. Oh, goody. What's that? Oh.
so paraquat. I haven't heard that
Not in a long
A
time.
long time, man. Holy paraquat. Holy
So I didn't
shit.
have time. I didn't want to talk. I didn't choose to talk about this because I didn't have time to do a deep dive on the research. So there is. I don't think there's any surge in Parkinson's disease. I mean, that's and if there was a direct connection between anything in agriculture and a severe neurological
Yeah, man.
disorder, the regulatory agencies again. People forget America's not the only country in the world. There's lots of other countries with their own regulatory bodies that do also look at the evidence, and it would ease. I think that would be reason for it to be banned. But yes, I would say the one thing he said I agree with. Yeah, you should wash your fruits and vegetables before you consume them. That you should always do that. Just
Yeah.
wash the stuff that you're going to consume.
Yep.
But I'd have to do a deep dive to see where this is coming from.
I think part of it is like banned in the EU, UK, China, but remains in use in the US. So it's one of those like is the risk versus
hazard versus risk.
Yeah. Thing.
Yep.
So I think that just seems to fuel conspiracy.
But
Yeah.
is paraquat dangerous or not?
It is toxic, it says.
Well,
And
everything is at a certain dose.
at certain
So
dose.
again, the question is, what's the risk at the exposure that it's
Exactly.
happening in?
And all it says is linked to an increase in risk of Parkinson's disease, particularly in individuals with certain genetic makeups. But it's like, what does that mean exactly when it says linked? It's like, is it definitive? Like a specific amount, whatever. I don't know.
So Silex said you can get E. coli from organic food. The
Well, a
thing-
lot of
that's
organic
true,
food has
too.
pesticides on it as well. They
That's
just use
true.
natural pesticides, usually with more frequent and higher dose applications,
Yeah.
and less evidence of safety.
the whole organic thing is such
It's a
complete,
complete scam.
bullshit.
Oh, yeah. We going
It's
down that rabbit
actually
hole.
worse for the environment
It's worse for the
than
environment,
non-organic.
and there's no evidence that it's any better for your health
Yeah,
or
you get
nutrition or anything.
Less food, right? Or fewer, like...
It's 20.
this-
Well, on
20%
average, about
less?
20% less production per
Production,
acre from
right.
organic.
Yeah, but you
farming.
think that they're dumping in, an order of magnitude more chemicals into the soil to get the same effect as the synthetic pesticides.
Mhm.
All right, Bob and I are going to leave now.
All right.
Okay. Oh, something we said?
No,
Okay.
but
done.
Didn't say?
we've got things to do. And Steve, we're going to hand over everything to you.
All right.
You're okay?
I'll take over.
Taking
I
the
trust him.
reins.
Guys, have a great week. If we're
Yeah.
not here, guys, if we aren't back here next week, have a wonderful holiday season, whatever you're celebrating.
Yes. Happy Krampus,
Ooh,
Saturnalia, all that good stuff.
Stay away from talking politics. It doesn't do anybody any good,
I don't know.
right?
Maybe.
Well, no, you could talk to people if everyone's calm
Except
and
for
respectful.
Political Reality Podcast, which is...
If you talk politics, try to listen to what the other people are actually saying.
Well, there's
try
that.
to understand their position.
Give
Don't
the man
just
the
attack
mic.
Some straw man cardboard villain in your head.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's my advice.
If only we had that on mic, but that's fine. That's fine. All right, we're going to switch that over. Here we go. A little hold music. All right, stand by for the TikTok setup. All right, we're going to do a few TikToks with Steve Novella of the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. And let me get these other ones set up. All right, cool.
All right.
Boom, we got a
How's
couple
this?
fun. Yeah, that should be good. Switch over this thing a little bit. Perfect. Okay, little picture. Okay, that's good. You want to start with Joseph Rogan?
Sure.
All right,
This is a good
bye-bye,
one.
y'all. Bye-bye. We'll see you later. Those chairs did nothing to you? Did they manhandle the chairs? I didn't see. All right, let me just make sure this is unmuted.
Guy who invented
Guy who invented this, that. All right, here we go. Stand by.
Did you ever get into the guy who invented diesel?
No.
There's a book about him. His shit's wild, dude.
What did he do?
His name, it was like Rudolph Diesel. He came up with the diesel engine, and it was like, apparently it helped. He wanted to like make a small, reliable engine so like people in rural areas could compete with like cities, and people could live in a farm and still like produce stuff. And governments were like, yeah, we're building weapons of death with these things. And like it turned out to be like it was a wild invention. Like it would capture like 25% of the fuel. Diesel was like 70% capture in terms of like output, and it was completely revolutionary. And it was just found drowned.
Oh, they killed him. He
Yeah.
disappeared from the steamship Dresden while traveling from Antwerp, Belgium to Harwich, England. On October 10, a Belgian sailor aboard a North Sea steamer spotted a body floating in the water. Upon further investigation, it turned out the body was Diesel's. There was and remains a great deal of mystery surrounding his death. It was officially judged a suicide, but many people believed and still believe that Diesel was murdered. Duh.
it's so easy to weave these nonsensical conspiracy theories. So some of the basic facts there are okay. Rudolf Diesel invented the diesel engine, and it is a very efficient internal combustion engine. It uses compression to heat the fuel so that it spontaneously combusts, so you don't need spark plugs. And it has a couple advantages, a couple of disadvantages. The advantages are it's more efficient. It's also a flex fuel engine. It could burn pretty much any kind of oil, peanut oil, kerosene, gasoline, whatever. So it's very flexible. And it can generate a lot of power. Disadvantages are it's more complicated, more expensive, and higher maintenance. So if you're just driving around in cars, there's not really any reason to prefer diesel over a regular gasoline engine. For bigger rigs like trucks, for generators, for boats, for things like that, the larger, more robust diesel engines are preferred. So yes, Diesel did drown. He did fall off of a ship. And there's essentially three theories as to how he died. One was that he died by suicide, which is I think the dominant theory, because he was going bankrupt and losing a lot of money, and he did leave what money he had in a bag to his wife. So it seems like he was sort of like preparing. That's a sign, that somebody was planning their exit. So that's probably what happened. The other theory is that Wilhelm had him assassinated so that he wouldn't give his technology to England. So this is the lead up to World War I, and Germany was using diesel engines in their navy, including their new U-boats, and they wanted to keep their technological advantage over England. So there was one idea that maybe it was a political assassination to keep him from cutting a deal, selling his patents to England, giving England a boost technologically for their navy prior to World War I, while there was a sort of lead up to the conflict happening. So I don't know. I don't think that's necessary. There's no evidence for that. That's not massively implausible. So not much else to say about that. It's just unknown. But the third theory, which is the one that they're kind of getting to here, is that Rockefeller had him killed in order to suppress the diesel engine, because the diesel engine is a flex fuel engine, and that would have challenged Rockefeller's monopoly on petrol as the only source of oil, right, of gasoline at this point. He wanted to favor the gasoline engine. This is a completely nuts, implausible, counterfactual conspiracy theory. It makes no sense. First of all, you'll notice that diesel engines are still around over 100 years later. You cannot kill a technology by killing one person. It doesn't work that way. By the time he died, the knowledge of the basic functioning of a diesel engine was already out there. You already have people developing their own versions of the diesel engine, right? Second, there was no diesel engine that could be used in a car at the time. It had not been miniaturized enough. They didn't make it small enough until the 1920s, and the first diesel engine car didn't come out till the 1930s. Long after this all happened, there was actually no reason to think at the time that this was going to be a competitor for the gasoline automobile. Further, there was no infrastructure for using plant-derived oils on the scale that would have been necessary for transportation at the time. Even if there were a peanut oil burning, car, let's say, or whatever, just some plant-derived oil burning car, there was no infrastructure to make that much oil. It would not in any way threaten the profits or the dominance of petrol oil. So it doesn't make any sense. There really was no motivation to want to get rid of the diesel engine at the time. It wasn't competing in that same space with gasoline engine cars, and killing one person would not have gotten rid of the technology. It didn't get rid of the technology. If anything, the case of diesel just proves my point and disproves all of these nonsensical, this guy died under mysterious circumstances to suppress his technology, conspiracy theories. It doesn't work. You can't suppress technology through killing a person. Right? I mean, it's not like the idea of a diesel engine is so amazingly unique that if it weren't for that one guy, nobody ever would have invented it. Or even once somebody like Rockefeller learns of the existence of this technology, there are other engineers who know the existence of this technology and they know how it works and they can reproduce it and even improve it and increment it, etc. So there's no motivation for it. It didn't make sense at the time, and it wouldn't have worked anyway. And so it just is a completely nonsensical conspiracy theory. Probably he died by suicide. It's, can't rule out that maybe this was a pre-World War I political assassination, although that's not a necessary hypothesis. But they killed this smart guy to suppress his technology is just nonsense.
All right. Diesel. All right, let me see. This one too. Diesel. All right, cool. All right, let's move on to the next one. This guy again.
Fucking guy.
All right, here we go. Stand by.
Oh, Terrence Howard said he's going to release free energy, the equations to it, so you can pull free energy out of the flux. Tell me more! Yeah, because Terrence Howard is basically a genius and has come up with many different inventions that will give people free energy, that will give certain 0-point energy flight, things of that nature. He is starting to be silenced, and what they're doing is they're doing things such as, oh, you owe child support, so we're going to pull your passport so you can't go to Dubai. But why would he need to go to Dubai? Oh, well, that's where he would get his funding for what he needs to do for the inventions he's come up with. So now that people behind the scenes and certain people that don't want him to have his inventions come to life are starting to silence him by way of taking away opportunities for him and trying to shut his opportunities down so he can't come up with these inventions and have them come out soon. What he's doing is releasing the equations then for free energy from the flux. Oh, goody!
All right, let's talk about Terrence Howard for a minute here. There's no reason to think that this guy is a genius. He has decided that he is going to completely reinvent math and science, because he can do that. I'm going to set aside the question of whether or not he has some mental illness issue playing a role in all of this and just take what he says at face value. He is what we call in the business a crank, right? So he is just making up completely nonsensical stuff, incoherent. It's really incoherent, and justifying it with these completely illogical, leaps of thought that are really concerning. He says, for example, 1 times 1 is 3. Because of the way multiplication works. Right? He clearly doesn't understand math and doesn't understand that you can't just change the way math works because of some metaphor that you thought of in your head.
Wait, he said 1 times 1 is 2.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. So
let's just cut into that.
Let me say it again.
Yeah.
He says, for example, that 1 times 1, not 1 plus 1, but 1 times 1 equals 2. He does that through some kind of abstract metaphor. You can't change the rules of math because you think you hit upon some metaphor. 1 times 1 is 1. That's objectively absolutely true. So right there, that undercuts anything else that he claims like that, or that derives from that, which this all does. He also says that he can make the Milky Way work, that's our galaxy, without gravity. And that gravity is just a manifestation of an electromagnetic force. So this is wrong. This is objectively wrong. Right? He needs to study some basic physics. Again, he's just making up this stuff that is so perplexing. It's hard to even know where to begin. And then from all of this, he derives this notion of perpetual motion or free energy, but he's got nothing. He has no workable technology, no workable theory, just these flights of fancy, really. And of course, free energy is impossible. It violates the actual laws of physics, the laws of thermodynamics, for example. So immediately you should be highly skeptical of any claims of free energy or perpetual motion, et cetera, et cetera. So now, of course, somebody who doesn't understand science, who is having really narcissistic flights of fancy, is saying incoherent scientific gobbledygook, and scientists are responding accordingly, like saying, this is nonsense, this is not even worth any serious attention. It's not surprising that such a person may also have some problems with their personal life. And now you're trying to say that there's some conspiracy against him to suppress his genius because the powers that be don't want free energy. I mean, I've spoken about this so many times. If we really could produce limitless, clean, free energy, we would freaking do it. You know, somebody would do it. There's no way you could keep that kind of technology under wraps. There's no way. It's just nonsense. You're not going to do it by slandering one random guy, you know, saying, oh, this genius, this unique genius figured out this equation that somehow surpasses all the scientists of the world. Again, massively implausible. And if we could just convince everybody that he's nuts, then we're good. We can suppress this free energy technology so that we can continue to make money on our old school technology. It's complete fantasy. It's nonsense. Don't believe it for half a second.
Let me see this one. Okay.
Wow, Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
That guy is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Mm-hmm.
He is like, there's flights of fancy, and then there's like thought disorder.
Yeah.
You know.
Unfortunately,
so I don't want to get into that. I don't like to diagnose people remotely, but you know, it's a continuum, and he is somewhere along that continuum.
There's a new pseudoscience, remote diagnosis. Like you could remove yourself from your body and then diagnose them. I don't know, like remote, whatever. All right, let's go to this one. Copper.
Copper. That's right, copper.
That's right, copper. All right, stand by.
Go back into the 1800s, I then came to the dental industry using copper products. One device which was really interesting was a copper tongue scraper, and I actually read that they started to use copper tongue scrapers as soon as they realised copper was antibacterial, and so people were then using it in their mouth and no bacteria would survive in their mouth. And so people were then finding that their dental health was improving and they no longer needed to fund the dental industry. But what they also found out was that when they glided copper in their mouth, they would absorb copper ions which were electrically charged. And this was the same time that we figured we were electrical beings. And so they then realized that when they put copper in their mouth, it was increasing their conductivity and therefore their frequency. And we know the higher frequency somebody is, the healthier they are. And this was at the same time that everybody was drinking from copper because they knew it could purify the water through its antibacterial properties. So the dental industry then figured that copper would be very beneficial for people's dental health. But because people's dental health were improving, it nearly put the dental industry out of business. And that's why all of the dental products today are either plastic or stainless steel for this reason, because they figured that copper was benefiting people, which they didn't like.
Sorry, there's one little kernel of truth here, and that is that copper does have antimicrobial activity. So, yeah, back in the day, back in the 1800s, you know, before modern sanitation, before you could, you know, be reasonably secure in the notion that the water coming out of your faucet was probably safe to drink, you know, with notable exceptions. But yes, anything to improve your odds of not getting a horrible infection would be great. And so, you know, it became popular for a while to drink out of copper. And we still use copper, you know, like copper countertops in laboratories and stuff, places where, you know, the copper surface will have some antimicrobial effects. It's not the same as using Lysol and like disinfecting things, but it's at least not a friendly environment for bacteria to produce. Now, that's about all he said that was legitimately scientific. The notion that copper fillings in your teeth increases your conductivity, that's nonsense. I mean, we are salt water basically, which is already pretty conductive. It's not going to increase your conductivity. And then he makes this ridiculous pseudoscientific leap that increasing your conductivity increases your frequency. That's not a scientific notion. People don't have a frequency. That's a pseudoscientific, new agey kind of thing. It is not based on any science. And then of course he says that a higher frequency equals health. Again, that is just magic. That is vitalism kind of nonsense. That is not based upon anything real. And then again, just adding layer on top of layer. So the copper does not make you more conductive. It does not increase your frequency. Frequency does not relate to health. And people did not suppress that because they wanted to keep people unhealthy. That whole conspiracy theory of they want you to be unhealthy, so they're going to keep any actually beneficial treatment from coming to market or whatever, is just silliness. There's no way, first of all, if it was truly effective, so effective that it was disruptive, that you would be able to keep that at bay, keep people from figuring this out in every country, everywhere, is nonsense. It's just not possible. The reason we use stainless steel is that they're easy to sterilize, and plastic also is easy to sterilize. That's why we use them in a medical setting. There's also another reason why we don't use copper in the body is because leaching copper ions into the blood is not safe. It's not really considered a good biocompatible metal. You're better off using something that's completely biologically inert, like titanium or gold, but not copper. That's why it was replaced. Not because secretly it's like dentists want people to be unhealthy. I mean, just think about that. It's just purely nonsensical. And we're done.
I
think we're going to be too busy next week to do a live stream. We have two shows next week.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we're into Christmas, so we'll see you back next year.
Well, Christmas, see you in 1 year. Not really, but in
January.
In January, actually, and we will see some people in Seattle.
And then in Seattle,
right.
That's the second weekend in January.
That's right. So if you want to come see us in the flesh, in the meat space, go to theskepticsguide.org, events page. There's still tickets for the extravaganza and the private show. There's no more tickets for the super secret thing, but
the VIP show.
Yeah, we're gonna release one of those for the Madison one eventually.
Yeah,
but we haven't done that. That's not till May. And then we have some more shows that will come up, and then
gonna have a busy year next year. There's a lot going on.
A lot, and doing the Australia thing. So
at the Australia New Zealand trip, we got 3 other shows in the works.
A lot of stuff.
Probably we'll be going back to Dragon Con next year. We haven't been there in a few years.
That's true too. Fun stuff. Merry Solstice. Yes, Merry Solstice to you as well, and to everyone here. And if you want to become a patron, go to patreon.com/skepticsguide. You get access to an audio version of this live stream whenever we do live streams, ad-free, a bunch of other stuff, discounts, when we release stuff. Also, like early access, like that super secret private show basically sold out because of the patrons. So
but those are small by
they're
design.
Small, yeah, they're only like 20
so he's
seats
gonna
or
have to jump
like
on
that.
those.
Yeah. Link to other shows we will be posting. I know people keep asking about Political Reality. It's not posted yet. We're still editing.
There's 6 episodes recorded.
We do. So we're trying to
get
everything.
2 more next week, I think.
Yeah, we are. Also Tuesday we do have it scheduled.
Then but as soon as the first one gets through the pipeline, then they'll be every week after.
But also don't worry that it's not timely news. It is relative, but it's like evergreen content.
Yeah, it's evergreen. The main content's evergreen.
It's not like this is what happened this week. There is some of that, but it's like those are little bite-sized things. But that's just to kind of
The movie podcast, I think you mean AQ6, Alpha Quadrant 6. Again, we just recorded an episode today. We have 5, I think, episodes now in the can. Again, we have a new editor. It's working its way through the pipeline, and those new episodes will be posted soon.
Yeah, we'll be getting that up to speed, and we'll probably post that one earlier than later.
The Pluribus one, I think, we'll try to get that out as soon as possible.
Yeah, since it's timely.
That was a fun conversation.
It was very good. All right, so stay tuned. See y'all later. Bye-bye, everybody.
Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.